All right, everybody. I have the Scott Speedster 50. A little backstory. I got sick in 2019. I was one of the first people to get COVID. It was a great time. I was sick for 4 months, 4.5 months in bed. My wife and kids did not get sick. I wanted to kick them every single day. And after that, you used to have it or have had it, or the long haul symptoms. I've got the long haul symptoms. I know what you're going through. It changes your whole being. I couldn't run anymore. I couldn't really work out. Couldn't do anything. And over the last 3-4 years of being sick, it changed a lot. So I started biking last year. I had a client that came in and he's like, "Yeah, my dad does this, gravel grinder Blackfly challenge up in the Adirondacks." Like, "Oh, cool! It sounds like a good time. Let's do it." So I ended up picking up a bike over the summer, mountain bike. Did some riding, and it was a good time. I thought it was fun. So went and did this gravel grinder, and said to myself, "I'm out of shape." That's no joke. There's no punchline to that. I'm out of shape, and I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out the ins and outs of cycling. So my wife and I, we watched the Tour de France. We watched the latest one, the Vuelta a España. We're watching all these races, and she's into it just as much as I am, if not more, and she's pushing me towards these things. So I picked up this Scott Speedster 50 last year, and then I started riding it this year, obviously. I picked up another Scott RC30, which we'll talk about in another video, but this is the Speedster 50. It's like the beginner entry-level model. It's about $1,000 in cycles is where I got mine, so shout out to those guys out in California. Really good, fast shipping, no issues. The bike itself comes stock, okay? Obviously, it comes stock. This has clipless pedals on it from my mountain bike. I'll explain that later. Normal road handlebars, 120 millimeter stem, stock seat, which is horrible, and stock wheels and Schwalbe's wheels. So what did I do to it? So I rode it pretty much like I got it stock for a month. I was having some upper back issues while I was riding it, so I was stretched out a little bit too far. I'm in between sizes. This is an XL, 58 centimeter, and I have a 56 for the RC30. So I'm in between sizes. So what I did is, because you can still ride the bike, it's okay, I shortened my stem up. So I went to an 80 millimeter stem instead of the 120 and brought it back a little bit. Perfect. Haven't had any issues with it. So that was the first thing I did. Okay. Main thing. That was in comfort level. Before I even got the bike, before I ordered the bike, my next purchase was a new seat. So I got the Selle, S-E-L-L-E, Italia, the SLR gel seat. It is phenomenal. So if you get a bike, 99% of the time that stock seat is terrible. You're gonna just take it right off. So this is what I went with. It was perfect for me. There's plenty of videos on how to do it. You put your feet up on the coffee table, sit on a piece of cardboard, wiggle your butt around, and you got those two little imprints. If you want me to explain it, I can. Two little imprints, you measure them, and that's the best gauge, because it's your sit bones, and that's your best gauge for your seat. So I was a 155. I'm 6 foot, 185-ish, yeah, so that's what I went with. And I've got two of them now. I got one on my RC30, and I've got one on this one. My mountain bikes have Specialized Phenoms. Both of those are 155s also. So that's what I did with the seat. The bottle cages don't come on it. You got to grab them when you can. I went with a Scott, and then I've got a Trek, a bottle cage, because I've got a Trek dealer around here, and that's all, a Bone Traeger. That's what I got. It's hard to find Scott stuff where I am in New York. I don't know why, but there's no dealers. Everyone's got a Trek. Everyone's got a Cannondale or a Specialized. I don't want that. I want to be a little bit different. And I like the color. I don't want a brown or a dark green or black. I want a white bike, so I got a white bike. The stock wheels that came on it, they work just fine. The only thing I switched over was the tires. I switched over to Pirellis. I just did a lot of research, and one of the Pirellis was one of the best for that one. These are Crank Brothers and Schwalbe's, yeah, CX Counts. Okay, so these are gravel tires I put on here. I started riding around on gravel. I contacted Scott before I did it and said, hey, this is what I want to do. They said, yep, should be fine. You can't go over a 35 millimeter tire. I'm like, okay, cool, I won't do it. So I bought a couple set of 35 millimeter gravel tires, and I've been riding it like that. I'm having a blast with it. It's actually kind of fun. It's kind of fun. And I put gravel handlebars on it. So they got a little bit more out swoop with the drop, and they're a little bit wider. I've got bigger shoulders, so when I'm up, it balances out really well. I put an Altus rear derailleur on it. Okay, so I'm 7 on the rear. I put a bigger, just a higher up cassette on the back, but I put an Altus on there. I don't know why. It didn't do anything for me. I just wanted to see if it was a difference from the tourney. Nope, about the same thing. The tourney system that comes on the bike is fine. I've had no issues. I've done numerous rides on this bike, 10 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles. I did 39 miles on this bike at one point in time, and I've had no issues with it, really, honestly, truly. Great bike, great brand, great entry level if you're looking to do it. But yeah, definitely. Now, when you're sitting on the bike, how you know if the stem is going to be too long, if you're in between sizes, like I am. Most manufacturers have it on their site, what you can actually, your range that you can go for. I'm the in-betweener. Yay. So what I did is I've watched all the videos, I've spent all the money, I've done all these stupid things, and this is the best judge I found. You're sitting on your seat, you get comfortable on your seat, hands out, fall down onto your handlebars. If you're on your handlebars and you're looking down into your handlebars, okay, so I'm looking down into them, my handlebars are right in line with my front axle. So I cannot see my front axle. If your handlebars are out too far, you're going to see your axle behind. If they're in too close, you're going to see your axle out in front. You want them right in line with your axle. It's going to be the best way to do it. Best way to do it, hands down. Seat height, sit on the seat, get a nice comfy position, up against the wall. You don't have to do anything fancy. Put your heel on the pedal and get down there. You're almost full extension. On the heel, not on the ball of your foot. So then once you get on the ball of the foot, then it's a little bit better. That's the best judge I found also. Set the bike on the floor. Before you do any of this stuff, make sure your seat is level. Okay, so I would set it on the floor in the house. My wife loves it. Spending all my time in the house on the bike. Put a level up on the seat. Okay, make sure your bubble's level. That way you're not going to have any issues. If you start to have an issue where you're having an impingement somewhere, if legs are going numb, feet are going numb, something like that, other than, hey, I got new shoes and my feet are going numb, dummy, you got to break them in a little bit. You'll be fine. That's your best gauge. So center up your seat the best you can. All the seats have little tack marks on there. Hey, there you go. And put a level on it, leveled out. Sit on it, fit it up to you. I would have my daughter, take a picture of me from the side, boom, and so I can see my knee position. I've taken a laser level. Is my knee in line with my foot and the axle, and then sit on the bike, ride the bike. It's the best way to do it. Don't worry about all the other stuff. I vowed that I would never wear those tight shorts that I see them wearing all the time on all the cycling shows and the tours, but honestly, I kind of like it. I like jumping on the bike, going out, hitting 20, 25 miles. If I'm not hitting 20, 25 miles on a ride, I don't feel like I've done anything anymore, because that takes me maybe an hour to do. So get out, get a ride in a couple times a week, and I'm good. But yeah, great customer service, great bike. I don't think there's anything else I could say about it. I really don't. Scott has been a good brand. I used him back in the 90s. My brother used him back in the 90s. I haven't been on a bike since, and then I started cycling last year, and all right, I get back into this. I get a quad lock. Quad lock is great. You can get a quad lock. I've got 3 different mounts, one on each of my bikes, and you get the case for it, and you clip it in, and boom, good to go. You can listen to music. You can put earpods in if you want to do that. I know people are going to say, oh, it's not safe to ride around with the earpods. Well, it's not safe to ride around on the road either, but we still do it. So I put one earpod in sometimes. Sometimes I don't put any earpods in. I just have the phone playing there in front of me. But I'm going for a ride. If I was scared about getting hit, I wouldn't ever leave my house. So that's what you got. The stock wheels are okay. They're okay. They're what they are. I got it the aftermarket set, because I wanted something a little bit different. I like the spoke design and everything else. So I was running road road tires on these up until I switched over to gravel, and it was working just fine. I had no issues with it whatsoever. Depending on your budget, so the bike was around $1,000. You're going to spend $150 on the seat. You're going to spend, these are the Look X-Track carbon pedals, so $220 on pedals. You can go with the standard wheels. That's what I was riding it with. I just got a different set of tires, so that's another $60-$80 for tires. You're going to have, depending on what you do, $500 worth of upgrades. So if your budget is $2,000 for a bike, don't spend $2,000 on your bike, because chances are you're going to get the bike. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this, and you're $2,500, $2,800, and you're like, why would I even bother doing this? I don't want to ride. Go to your local bike store. Okay, I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be Scott. It could be Trek. See if they have used bikes. Most places you go, they'll do a bike fitment on you when you go to buy a bike. It's not a huge deal to do a bike fitment. I've got a great Syracuse Bicycle, local place around here. They've been really helpful. I've ordered frames from them. I've gotten parts from them. They're very helpful. Most bike stores are going to help you regardless. If you got a question, they're going to give you a hand. They don't really care. They just want to keep people moving, keep people cycling. Difference between this and the RC30, not a damn thing. $2,000, $2,500. I mean, the bike was over $3,000. Is it making me any faster? No. Is it lighter? Yeah. It's a little bit. It's a little bit different. So when I go from one to the other, this one of course is set up for gravel right now, but when you go from one to the other, it takes a minute or two. Like, okay, because this one it's a bigger bike, so it's a little more my comfort level. The other one's a smaller bike. It's meant for speed and racing, but there's nothing like going down a hill at 42 miles an hour on a bike that weighs 16 pounds and a 28 millimeter tire. There's nothing like it. You're cruising down and you're just zoom, zoom, zoom. It's fantastic. So definitely give it a shot. If you're looking for the Scott Speedster 50 first bike, it was a great choice, and I will be riding it for a long time. So everybody have a great day.